is Bahrain International Circuit, but you've already seen the Valkyrie strut its stuff round there. So now I've got my civvies back on and I'm going that way, out to see how the car gets on in the real world. First issue, where do you stick stuff? The answer is nowhere. There is no luggage space, so that is staying here and I'm off. Oh, how long have we been waiting for this? Driving out onto the roads of Bahrain in a Valkyrie. It just feels like a full house racing car. It's so noisy in here. It rarely comes across because the microphone adjusts, but I'm going to have to use the option that you don't get in many road cars, a set of cans.
Now I know what you're thinking. How many owners will ever do this? I don't care. The point is that it wears number plates so it can do this. And if you were in my position, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you want to get the world's most track-focused hypercar in amongst Corollas and SUVs, going toe-to-toe with junctions, traffic and speed bumps?
You can do speed bumps! The shot you want, and I know it, and it's the thing we've come here to do, is a drive-through. And the more I look at the height of these curbs, there's so many sharp, edgy bits of carbon everywhere. And the fact I can't open the window and everything else, just, I'm not risking it. So I found something the Valkyrie cannot do, drive-throughs. I think most owners will cope. No, I've never got round that corner.
Not having to worry about a clutch is a joy, plus that Cosworth engine is remarkably tractable and docile at low speeds. Operating it is pretty easy, however. The Valkyrie uses its hybrid electric motor to get going, bleeding in the V12 once past 10 miles an hour. As you may have seen from Chris's track film, and if you haven't watched that yet, make sure you don't miss it, the Valkyrie is noisy inside. It's also quite fast. Watch this. Probably the loudest car I've ever driven. It had my ears ringing with white noise and pushed the microphones to, well, breaking point. It's not brutally forceful off the line due to the handover from electric to petrol, but it does 0 to 150 in under 9 seconds. Even more impressive, acceleration from 60 to 130 miles an hour takes only 4 seconds. So the deafening cabin noise is a trade-off worth making.
But you've got all the controls. This is the thing that staggers me. This thing has got through homologation. Full road car homologation. I mean, what did they think when Aston presented them with this and said, here we are lads, this is what we want to homologate. And it must have just dazzled people.
It doesn't take long to get out into the southern desert and oil fields. Quite a backdrop for the car. Out here, the Valkyrie's hydraulic active suspension starts to smooth out as speeds rise, but it's not particularly natural feeling. Rather than being supple, it feels loose, like the movements aren't as well controlled as in a conventionally suspended car. Related to this, the steering has weight and accuracy, but not a terrific amount of natural feel.
But I've got a regular handbrake here, I've got mostly conventional buttons on the steering wheel, I've got a rotary dial here for the lights, and I've got another one for the wipers, and I've got indicator stalks, and I've got gear change paddles, and then I've got a button for ERS, which is the energy boost system for the hybrid, which, when you have more than 95% throttle on, gives you another 150 horsepower of electric. I'm not going to be needing that today.
There's no refinement at all, just buzzing vibration, mechanical thrash and whine, and this off-putting penetrating drone. It's not a car any owner ever going to hop in and nonchalantly drive a few hundred miles.
Well, this is bizarre, isn't it? An Aston Martin Valkyrie parked on a beach. So what have we learned so far? Well, mainly that it is manageable but very full on. Even with the headphones on in there, it is very noisy. However, we haven't scraped the underbody once today, for which I'm profoundly grateful. But cars behind do need to be aware about dust and stones being flicked up. But mainly, just look at it. You've seen it enough now. It's an amazing looking thing, and I haven't had enough of that. I'm gonna go and drive it in the city at night.
A full tank of fuel means I wouldn't be caught short where we were heading next. Bahrain's capital city, Manama.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking, and yes, it runs on regular pump gas. Prefers 98, perfectly happy on 95, and look, simple press and release for the fuel flap.
Oh look, there's a random stranger who needs a lift.
Okay, not a genuine hitchhiker. This one is called Mark, and he's our photographer who's been taking all our lovely pictures today. However, this does prove 2 of you can fit in here, provided you're not too big and you're keeping your elbows out of the way. All right, sunshine?
Ironically, cities are where we're most used to seeing supercars, and there's plenty of them here.
So this is it, we're stuck in traffic here. Behind us we've got a McLaren, ahead of us we had a Ferrari. It's just supercar central, but tonight we have upstaged them all.
And it's worth pointing out that it didn't miss a beat all day. We sweep over bridges, take in the sights, and then head right into the heart of Manama's nightlife.
I once drove a McLaren Senna into Monaco, but in terms of doing stupid and stressful things, this takes the biscuit. We're in the centre of Manama and no one cares that we have stopped the traffic because we've turned up in an Aston Martin Valkyrie. People love it. Has the car loved it? I think that's more debatable. It's as far out of its comfort zone as it's possible to go. I have adored doing this though. This is as memorable and exciting for me as driving it around the circuit. I will never get to do this again. The chances are you will never see another Valkyrie on the road. Best enjoy it while we can, eh?